Alright guys, so as you may already know, I did lose my Phantom and I had quite a bit of trouble finding it. And this is the field where it happened, and it looks pretty simple, but when you're flying FPV, you know, at a pretty decent altitude, I guess, it's not that simple. Not as simple as you would think. And I did learn a few things from my incident that I really wish I had done differently. The first thing is that I wish I knew my exact home point. You know, I know that I crashed somewhere in that area, but whether it's here or there makes a big difference in your search perimeter. After I crashed, I basically went into that area to see where I would get the strongest signal, and I was getting really strong signal in that area along the road. But if I knew exactly where my home point was, things would be a lot simpler in narrowing down my search perimeter, which kind of brings me to my second point. I was flying FPV and I have mini IOSD on it, but at the same time I never really looked at exactly, you know, what all the different things on the IOSD is telling me. And I knew that I was 200 meters away, and I knew I was 10 feet up, but what I did not exactly know is what the azimuth actually tells you. And the azimuth, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but what azimuth actually tells you is the angle relative to the magnetic north that your quad is located towards. So 27 degrees is what the IOSD told me, and 27 degrees is this is how you calculate it. Let's assume that this right here is my home point. If this is my home point right here, you need to figure out exactly where magnetic north is. So you either use your smartphone or you bring your compass, if you have a compass. Magnetic north is right there. Okay, 27 degrees is right there. Okay, but on top of this, you have to make one adjustment. You have to make adjustment for your region. And for the region where I am, which is near Philly, the adjustment is 12.5, about 12 to 13 degrees. So the adjustment is, even though this is 27 and this is what Azimuth told me, you actually have to subtract those degrees back. So this would be actually my search area. So knowing this angle and knowing that you're 200 meters away makes it a lot easier to find your quad. And that leads me to my last tip, which would be having a DVR on your monitor. You know, when my quad went down, I was thinking about a lot of things, including the Phantom ending up on the road somewhere and hitting a car or something. You know, I wasn't necessarily thinking about finding the Phantom as much as I was thinking about whether it caused any damage to, you know, to someone else's property. You know, and that would have been much more, much bigger of a deal than just losing your Phantom. So I wasn't necessarily remembering all the iOSD settings, but if I did, my search would be a lot easier, because I thought I remembered the azimuth to be 127 degrees, when kind of common sense told me that it pretty much had to be 27 degrees. But if I knew 27 degrees, if I knew the distance, and if I knew the height, and if I was sure of it, then along with the home point, you would know how to find your quad pretty easily. And you know, I was getting FPV reception after the crash until my monitor died, you know, 15 minutes later. And you know, I didn't really think about writing down all the information that was given to me when I was getting intermittent reception. But if I was running a DVR, then I would have been able to refer back to it to know exactly, you know, all the settings that I could use to track down the quad. And you know, lastly, a GPS tracker would have been nice. And that the ironic thing is that I actually had one already ordered, and I'm just waiting for my Amazon supposed free shipping, which takes forever if you're not a Prime member. But guess what? There is a favorable conclusion to this little story. I did end up finding my quad, and it was exactly where it was supposed to be. I still cannot tell whether the azimuth and the distance numbers were exactly correct, or whether they were off a little bit. I know that my search area was definitely off, but that's probably because I simply couldn't figure out where along this grass was my home point. But I did find it, and I will give it a test. It's been drying out as a precautionary measure more than anything in a bag of rice. It seems like, I know it was raining while it was lost, so I know it had to get wet a little bit. But when I opened it up initially, it was already pretty dry inside, and I couldn't really see any kind of water damage in it. This is why I chose not to mess with Q-tips and, you know, try to clean any of these boards up, just because I think I might be setting myself up for a bigger problem and possibly, you know, disconnecting something, or, you know,
instead of solving my problem, I might be causing my problem. But basically, all the props broke. The landing gear, it basically broke. It bent and broke. And you can see my twisted antenna here. And yeah, I'm going to start it up. It's been about 4.5 days, 5 days that it's been drying. It's been in this bag, so I'm pretty sure that's as good as it's going to get. So I'm gonna give it a go. Alright, it looks like we're ready to go. And there it goes. It looks very... It looks pretty stable. It looks a little bit wobbly. I'm not quite sure why that is. But I wanted to say thank you to all the guys who have replied to me in helping me search for it. The information was absolutely integral in helping me narrow down my search perimeter and in understanding some of those OSD stats, in particular the Azimuth. Without it, I would have had, I don't think I would have found it. Like I said, I really wish I had a DVR on the monitor, so I would not have doubted myself, because like I said, initially I thought I had seen 127 degrees, when in reality it was 27 degrees. Regardless, thank you for all your help, and I will post up some of the links that have really helped me. I forgot the name of the user on RCgroups who really put up a great explanation as to, you know, the Azimuth and how it might apply in this case, and how it might apply to you if any of you guys end up making a mistake. Okay, so that said, have a look at the video, have a look at the crash video that I recovered, and I think you guys will see exactly why I crashed. I'm pretty sure I know exactly why I crashed. Alright, have a look.